Nice to see you all again. It's been a little while, but I'm happy to be back making more tier list videos. And unless you can't tell, we're on the country of Iceland today because I stopped. I took a little bit of a break, a much needed one, but now I'm back in this, and we're gonna make another tier list. 7 categories, a bunch of songs. I think there are 27 of them today. Um, I'm not gonna try and hold out on this one for way too long because I think we just need to get through these songs. Iceland, not really one of my absolute favorite countries in Eurovision. They have some gems here and there, which we will find out which I consider to be those. But there's a lot of just mid-tier stuff in this from this country, I think. A bit of a shame, but they have a few gems, as I said. So we'll go through the songs today. And we'll start with 1993, which I think is a pretty ballad. But I can't really say much more about it, unfortunately. I like the melody in there. There's something that latches onto me, but I can't quite connect with it completely because I don't get very invested in whatever is going on. It has like a pleasant little setting to it, but it doesn't really come across with enough of an impact in any little area for me personally. I think this is a song that many people could really get behind. But for me personally, I just don't connect with it enough. I think it's good, but I don't think it's much more than that because I can't personally attach myself to it any more than that. And that's kind of the case with Iceland here in the early years, I would say. Well, early years. We're starting from 1993. Of course, Iceland debuted before that. But from the years that we're going for here, because in 1994, Nightur or something like that, it's another pretty ballad, has a nice incorporation with the backing vocals as well. It's well sung, well performed, has a little bit of a memorability to the chorus, I think. But the song just kind of keeps going, and you don't really feel like the evolution has really taken over. It doesn't quite go anywhere extraordinary, and it just passes along for 3 minutes, and I enjoy it for what it is. But after that, I kind of forget about it, I guess. Or forget about it sounds a bit harsh, but I don't really pay too much attention to it when it's over. So I think we'll have to put that one in solid too. I'm tempted to put Nuna in solid as well, but I think this one has a little less real like impact than the previous two, to be completely honest. It's a bit more restrained in a lot of areas. Like melodically, it's not very engaging. I think doesn't really leave a great impression on me personally. I zone out a little bit when I listen to it. I like the kind of performance of it. I think there's a nice melody in there, but it just never really has an elevation or even an evolution throughout the song's progression either. I think the chorus is quite just too restrained, and I don't really connect with it. So I think I'll put it in I like it, but because I think it's hindered by its own minimalism, I guess, which I think is a bit of a shame. But yeah, there's something in it, just not enough in it, I think. Shooby-Doo from what year are we on? Are we on 97, I think? I'm starting to mix up the years here because, as you can see, I'm not very heavily impressed with Iceland in the 1990s, unfortunately. This is just not for me. I don't really get any charm from it. It has like a charm to it, but it's not something that I find charming. I can understand why if anyone else found it charming. It has like that little classy touch, but I just think it ponders on too long, doesn't really do anything that I enjoy personally. It's a bit, I wouldn't say tacky, but that's kind of the feeling that I get from it, to be completely honest. I don't particularly enjoy the chorus. I think it's very monotonous. Tries to be a bit, yeah, like charming and a bit cheeky, but it just doesn't really work for me. It's just not for me, unfortunately. But then Iceland took a big turnaround. 1999, this was their year. And at the same time, it wasn't their year because they finished second. All Out of Luck. This is fantastic. Such a catchy, upbeat song. Always makes me happy. I love the choreography on stage. I love the person, like the persona, the character that's just being performed here. I believe her name is Selma, right? She's fantastic on stage. The backing dancers to her are also really great. It's just a fun performance. It's like all out energy throughout 3 minutes. Has a hook which I you can get it in your head anytime and it doesn't leave. I think it's fantastic. It's just so much fun. It's upbeat, catchy, great pop song, well performed, well, fantastically performed. I really do think so. I can't find any flaws with this one. I enjoy it to bits. So that's a fantastic one. Big turnaround for Iceland, which didn't last for very long because in 2000 they were back to, I guess, this category. Tell Me, I think this one is called, has a memorable hook. I like there's a few chords here, especially in the chorus, which I quite like, and how the melody follows along with them. It has a like a memorable hook with a clever writing behind it, but then at the same time, I don't really particularly enjoy the verses. I think the song is quite uninteresting as it progresses. They are kind of good together on stage, I think, but it's not really that explosive package of just enjoyment that I got from the previous year. And I think the song gets a bit draggy towards the end. It's not too interesting for me personally. I don't think there's enough for me to latch onto, but I like the chorus melody. There's something there. I like that it's energetic. But then it kind of just falls a little bit when the song progresses and when you look at it as the whole package, I think. Yeah. In 2001, it's another eh type of entry, I think. I kind of like the chorus melody here. I think it's charming, it's upbeat. They are very charming on stage as well. I like the way that it's staged. I like the chorus melody. It's cute, it's catchy. The backing track is quite solid as well. I'm actually gonna be a bit, yeah. I think this is a solid one, to be honest. I don't really get anything from this one that I don't particularly enjoy. I just don't think there's anything outstanding about it either. It's just solid. It's cute. It's memorable for the 3 minutes that it goes on, and then there are other songs which might be more memorable. Maybe I think more highly of this one because it's in from a year 2001, which I'm not particularly fond of. So it's not really one of the lowest parts of that year. If this would have been in 2003, maybe I would have been more critical towards it. I don't know. It's one of these things that you just subconsciously do, I guess. But yeah, I think it's solid. It's I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. I have to say. 2003, however, is a step up. I really do think so. Open Your Heart. This is great performance, really great performance. Has a memorable hook to it. I like the backing track a lot. It's very, mid 2000s pop ish. But I mean, I've grown up during this period. I like the charm and the sound of everything that really goes on here. I think it's really enjoyable. I think the performance is great. I think the vocals are very solid. The chorus is solid. The verses are also quite nice. I think there's a lot of energy just in the backing track as well. The drumming keeps going. It's nice. I really do think so. And there's like this final part of the song, like the actual climax of the song is also one that's actually it's actually what you want it to be. It actually goes to a climax. It reaches the final point where you want it to go. It doesn't leave you underwhelmed. I think that's the main thing here. So yeah, that's a really great one, and I think that Heaven that followed it up is also a really great one. This is just mainly great because of the vocal performance. It's really powerful, really strong. I don't think the song maybe has that memorability that it really wants to have. The melody isn't really instant, but the backing track is strong. But what really just lifts it up is the vocal performance. I really do think so. Especially towards the end, you feel like this whole everything just feels complete when it's over. I really do enjoy the final minute of this song. It takes a while to get there, but I think the ending makes up for what the song really is. I think that's a really great one as well. 2005, we have the return of Selma up here. This one isn't quite what I wanted it to be. It's not as upbeat. It tries a bit more on the like a dramatic approach while also having this really upbeat pop hook. I do like the hook a lot. I like the drum machines and how they keep so much energy in it. And I kind of like the dynamic between the build up to this upbeat hook. But there's just something in it that doesn't really make it as outstanding. I do think that it's solid, but I'm not really entirely convinced on the whole package here. And I think the stage performance isn't really what I wanted it to be either, even though they've been ambitious. But but it just doesn't go all the way for me. And I think the verses are maybe not too interesting. I do like the dynamic, as I said, between the build up, or like the bridge part and the actual chorus when the drum beat picks up. But it might also turn a bit static after a while. I'm unsure, but I still enjoy it for what it is, so I'll put it in solid. 2006, what happened here? I have no idea. Should we just move on right away? Just absurd. I'm not gonna say anything else. 2007, however, ooh, this is really great. I really do think so. This is gripping, a bit heart-wrenching. Great instrumentation here behind everything. Strong vocal performance. A bit meh on the stage layout. I'm not particularly fond of it, but it is 2007 after all. Not a lot of songs had the masterclass staging nailed for them back then. But this is such a great song. I really do think so. The chorus is very strong, very dramatic. Has a great instrumentation behind it. I like how they incorporate the guitars with also like a more string arrangement. It works very well. It creates a lot of drama, creates a lot of emotion. Like the atmosphere of the song is incredibly tangible. I really do think so. Yeah, powerful, really great. 2008. Ooh, this is also a really great one. A lot of energy. Great performers, great vocalists. Mainly, I think they work really well together. And this hook is one that can stick in my head at any time. I love this whole like Euro dance beat that just keeps going. It never stops. It's so high of intensity and energy, and I just enjoy everything that goes on here. It's 3 minutes of pure just entertainment for me personally. I love every part of this song. It's really well performed. I am actually tempted. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I enjoy it way too much. I really do. Yep, fantastic. 2009 is also fantastic. What a pretty ballad. Yeah, perfection, really. I'd say so. Incredibly well performed. The verses I really enjoy in this song. I think they're very memorable for being verses, especially in a ballad song. I think these verses really connect with the audience. Could be part because of how it's performed as well. Uh, everything just looks great on stage, and her vocals are fantastic. So it just works. Everything goes together and creates this whole fantastic listening experience, I'd say. And also a very memorable chorus with the call response technique being used very effectively as well. Yeah, fantastic. Je ne sais quoi. I think this is a solid one. Great vocal performance again. That's becoming a bit of a trend here now. It's upbeat, it's catchy. Just doesn't really go all the way for me personally. It doesn't have that complete high intensity and energy that This Is My Life had, but it's still kind of the similar type of music, I'd say. But it doesn't go all the way there. It tries to rely more on, I guess, a more melodic kind of chorus melody, and also trying to establish more power by the vocal performance, which just doesn't really work for me. The backing track needs to be a bit more explosive for me to really engage with it. But it's still a good solid listening experience for 3 minutes. I think so. Yep. 2011, Coming Home. I think this is incredibly charming. It's a very nice backing track, I'd say. I really enjoy what they're doing here. Instrumentation is great. They're very, inviting and charming on stage. They work super well together. Really great entry. I always enjoy this tons whenever I watch it or listen to the song. Just I enjoy it as well. But I think they on stage is what really sells it. Yeah. Also, cute little backstory for the song, which is always a little tiny plus there. Then we have Never Forget. I'd say this is another fantastic one. I think this is it's so dramatic and really has that atmosphere being set straight from the get-go. The incorporation of the violin throughout is really strong, but I think what really sets it apart is the ambience that they set with synths and the backing track. There's a lot of elements going on here. The chorus is very memorable. They've staged it nicely. It all looks great. It sounds great. fantastic. And the dynamic between these two vocalists is also fantastic. So, yeah, fantastic entry from me. Another one that I would definitely say is fantastic, maybe even a bit more, but no, I'm not gonna put it in among the greatest. But this is my favorite Icelandic entry. I think. Ooh, spoilers. Yega Leaf. What a pretty song. You know, it's ballad perfection. It's so intimate, while also really having so much character to it. You know, singing in Icelandic kind of elevates this to like the next level, I think. It's incredibly beautifully staged, but what really sells it for me is the instrumentation behind the song, but also the chorus has such a pleasant melody. Everything sounds so pleasant, and when the final chorus really comes in and the vocals kind of elevate, that's just perfection. I think it's fantastic. I love it to bits. I really do. One of the absolute standouts from 2013, in my opinion. A year which I'm not super fond of, but this is definitely among the best in that year, in my opinion. 2014, No Prejudice. This has the correct approach, really. They do it for fun, they do it to entertain, while also spreading a message. I like that aspect of it. I just can't get behind the song. It's not really my thing. It's too chopped up, I think. Doesn't really offer that cohesion that I really want in a song, and I guess that's part of the charm. But at the same time, it just doesn't really click with me. So I'll have to drag it down for that reason. It is subjective after all. So yeah. 2015, going on a downward spiral here. Unbroken. This is a song I think which is quite solid. But I can't get behind this live performance. It's poorly sung. I don't really enjoy the layout on stage. I think everything just fell completely flat. This is not for me. I would never go out of my way to watch this or listen to this. It's a shame because I do think the song that's behind there is a bit cute. It's a bit charming. It's upbeat, which I like. But it just fell completely flat. A shame. 2016, Hear Them Calling. This is really great, incredibly staged. I love the staging of this song. I have no idea how this didn't make the final. I really don't. The chorus is quite strong, I think. The melody is very nice, with especially like with the whispering backing vocals. It's a very nice touch. It really sets this dramatic tone for the song, which really works as well with the stage layout. I love the use of shadows. I love the use of the gray kind of color grading. It just looks great. Maybe it fell a bit under the radar because of how dark it looks. Like they haven't really used lighting very effectively, but I still kind of like, for me it looks great, but I could understand if some people think it's just too dark. Maybe the chorus doesn't quite have that real evolution that some people might be after. But I really do enjoy the backing track and the instrumentation of it. I think it's really strong. So I can't still quite comprehend that they missed out the final with this one, but I can comprehend how they missed out the final with Paper, because this is not for me. It's too slow, it's too draggy, tries to be very atmospheric and a bit, what do you say, enigmatic and grand. Fails completely at it. The drumming is very stale. There's no energy in the chorus. It's a bit too draggy, or well, it's way too draggy, I think. Doesn't really go anywhere, just not for me. I don't get any type of enjoyment out of this one, which is a shame, because I like the atmosphere that they're trying to establish early on in the song, but everything just drops after that. 2018, Our Choice. I think this is solid. Quite a... I remember I followed the Icelandic national final this year in 2018, and this was actually my favorite from the national final. Quite a weak selection, unfortunately. But this one has the right approach to it. It's very cute, it's very charming, with a very lovely message. I did prefer it in Icelandic, I gotta say. But I think it's well sung. I liked the staging of it. It looked very pretty, especially in the opening when the whole audience was behind him. But it just fell through the cracks, didn't quite make it, or well, didn't make it at all. because it's too much of an underwhelming song. I think it doesn't really have the grandness of a power ballad, and it doesn't really have the minimalism of a more intriguing minimalistic ballad. It's just kind of in the middle, and that's where it falls through the cracks, I think. But still, I enjoy it for what it is. 3 minutes. I would sit down and I would enjoy it, and then move on to the next song. And moving on to the next song in this list is Hatrid Munsigra. Talk about a contrast. This is really great. Infectious beat, fantastic beat, really. I like the contrast of the hard hitting verses and the more I guess electronica driven, while also being a bit what do you say, like a brighter chorus. This whole vocal technique that the combination of these two vocal techniques that they throw at us in the song, it's really intriguing. Can be a bit off-putting, I guess, for some people, but I'm quite intrigued by it, and I enjoy just the dynamic that goes on here. The song overall is quite dynamic. I think this whole industrial beat that really sets from the first few seconds of the song and how it keeps going, it works very well, especially with how the chorus is thrown in with these brighter synths. There's a nice dynamic to that, which makes me quite enjoy this song a lot. And it's very ambitiously staged as well. You can just kind of enjoy everything that goes on here and just sit back and take everything in, which I enjoy doing. I also quite enjoy Think About Things by Dadi or Gagnama, yeah, something. The Icelandic group, which were predicted to win, I guess, in 2020. Shame we couldn't have a contest, but it's catchy, upbeat, it's harmless, it's also quite funny. It's done the charming kind of approach in the right way, I think. Song is also quite creatively put together. I do enjoy the instrumental variation throughout, and I think the melody is very memorable, especially in the chorus. And there's also a very nice progression throughout this song, which I'm very fond of. So I think just all around really great. And I think 10 Years is also all around really great. This hook, I'm actually really fond of this hook, and the funny choreography works well with it as well. And I love the staging of this song as well. It's done exactly with the right approach, and they nailed it. But I think the hook of this song is actually very strong. The verses aren't Well, the verses are also quite good, but they're not really all the way there for me personally. But I think the hook is what really sells this one. Um, yeah, and I think maybe the build up, like the verses and the build up, aren't really uh, all the way there for me. They don't really have that impact that I think the previous effort did. But I prefer the hook of this one. I think that's what I think. I'll have to listen to them again, I guess. But yeah, also the staging gives this one a lot of plus, I think, because the stage performance is really, really great. Love watching it. It's 3 minutes of pure joy, really. And in 2022, they have another solid effort here. I really just enjoy this performance. It's beautifully staged with the lighting and with the layout. Pleasant song, which really has its own identity, which I love. Just doesn't really carry that memorable impact that I really wanted to have. I think the final chorus could have benefited from more instrumental variation, some more dynamics being thrown into the mix. They've gone for the minimalistic and restrained approach, which I like, but at the same time, I think this song would have needed a little bit more variation towards the end to really connect with me completely. I think now it's a lot of reliance on the staging and how pretty it looks and really the atmosphere that sets, instead of just kind of building the song and going all in for the world that they're trying to build with this song. But I still think it's pretty great. It's solid. It's closer to this category than I think all of the other songs in this one. But I don't think I would put it next to these songs up here. So that's why it lands in solid. And that's my list for Iceland. Nothing in the Among the Greatest tier here today, but I think a lot of these could be quite close to that tier. I've been a bit generous with that tier, and I've realized more and more how difficult it is to kind of make make the tier list even for all countries, because I think maybe sometimes I've been too generous, maybe sometimes I've been too hard. But if I only look at this Iceland tier list I have in front of me now, I'm satisfied with what I see. So that's my list. Do tell me what you would change in my list in the comments, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you, I guess, tomorrow again, because now we're back to the regular uploading schedule. So thank you for returning to my channel. Hope you enjoyed watching me ramble for 25 more minutes, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.